Hey YouTube, I finally figured out a video I can do for you guys, and so I'm making another update. Now, for those of you that have seen any of my other videos, I actually do, I watch anime. I am a nerd of sorts, comics, anime, video games, etc. Um, so basically I'm going to update you guys on there's a website called anychart.net. That's online. You can find it. That does current anime, like for this year, like to be announced OVAs, series, etc. My current list of what I've got actually that I'm watching is Kami ga Kill, which is an episode. It's a series, an anime series about this group of assassins. Now, these assassins are not actually assassins for hire for a bad reason, but more or less the current kingdom that they live in is more than just a little bit corrupt. And the way it starts out, it moves a little bit fast to start off with, but it goes at a really good pace once you get into it. The second series I'm currently keeping up with right now is Glasslip. Glasslip is kind of a slow anime, mild. It's a slice of life with a mild aspect of fantasy to it. The fantasy part is the fact that two of the characters can supposedly see the future, but only when they're near each other, or something similar to that. One of them is trying, or the girl that's the main character is actually wanting to grow up to be a glassmaker. And she does a pretty good job during the series. Like the first couple of episodes, you see her, she's, helping make her father, grandfather, whoever it is, make glass. And she's learning, and she's with the rest of her friends. The series progresses on like that, so as it goes on, you can watch it, see what happens. Now, for those of you that aren't particular to slice of life animes, this one looks like it might be a little bit slow. It's good so far. It has that mild fantasy aspect to keep it from getting dull, so check it out. Let's see. Next anime on my list is Mahoka Koko no Retsusei. That's a mouthful. This anime is actually a leftover from the spring season. Currently, it is on episode 16, I want to say. Maybe it's going to episode 17. Basically, it's the irregular at Magical High School or whatever is the name of it, and it's about this guy who is kind of overpowered a little bit, which you're like, oh, anime, everybody's overpowered, but he's also very handicapped, not like not like physically handicapped, but everybody in the world is training magicians, is the synopsis of the story. Because they've gotten to a point where wars are being fought by magicians rather than just using regular arms. And the race to make a large populace of magicians to use for war purposes or fighting is escalating. Of course, there's a lot that want to use magic as a practical application to do things in general that aren't towards fighting or anything military. But the main character is what's considered abnormal because we don't know the entirety of his backstory. All we know is that he was a soldier at one point in time. And it looks like he has very high level magic. The problem is that what magic is based on is speed of activation and other things that make him not quite as supposedly talented as other magicians. But as far as like physically goes, he studies taijutsu and other forms of martial arts, Muay Thai as well, which taijutsu isn't actually a form; it's kind of a give or take, but the terminology is very broad. He does study Muay Thai though. Anyways, The story so far is progressing. It looks like it's going to be a 26 episode series. It's still going from spring now into summer. It's really good. The story is really involved. It gets you started really quickly, and it for most people who like fantasy animes and kind of sci-fi-ish, this will definitely catch your interest. If it doesn't, sorry, I can't help you. Let's see what's left on my list. Alright. There's another one which, let's see, oh. One that I have that I'm watching right now that is the revamp of Sailor Moon came out 3 weeks ago, maybe 4. It's kind of behind what it's supposed to be at. I was gonna do this this video as an entire review on what I do and don't like about the revamp, but I'm gonna kind of minimalize it because that would be kind of me ranting about Sailor Moon, which, let's be honest, the guy ranting about shoujo anime, not exactly most people's idea of, hey, let's watch that. But, anyways, my basic review on Sailor Moon for anybody who watched the original series is about this, klutz girl turns into basically more or less a magical girl of sorts, in order to fight evil and find companions along the way to protect a princess whom they don't know who it is. And the story progresses from there. Now, my critiques about it, and I'll try to keep this short, are the power from the original transformation scenes, like the actual essence and the mysticism and the power that it had to it, metaphorically speaking, of course, was very entrancing. You know, there was a certain unflawed essence to the transformation sequence. And the animation style, even though it was a shoujo anime at the time, was quite well done. Currently, they are using really, really late model shoujo for the new Sailor Moon Crystal. Basically, there's no legs, there's no thighs. Their arms are basically the same size from the wrist to their shoulders. Their heads look like alien heads. The art style for me is going to take some getting used to, but I'm willing to see it through until they get to a stopping point in the first season before I decide if I want to keep watching. My last critique is the transformation sequences. Well, two more critiques. This one and one more. The transformation sequences use Vocaloid style-esque animation and CG. And on me, all that original power and mysticism from the original transformation scenes was completely lost on these new ones. I mean, maybe I'm just a killjoy and don't like the CG that they use, and if that was the whole anime, I'd have been more disappointed. But as a fan of the original Sailor Moon and one of the first animes I ever started on, I wouldn't have complained as much, and I would have watched it. But the fact that it's the transformation scene, like her arms look like wet noodles, and everything is just done very strangely compared to the original. And I know it's a revamp, you have to change certain things, but they could have given them actual figures, not make it an ecchi, you know, keep it shoujo, but don't make it look like they have no figure. I mean, there's like no meat on them at all. I understand like shoujo is supposed to be like these princess style perfect figured women, but let's be honest, no figure is perfect. I mean, even by most guys' standards, there's like, oh god, that like girl is like perfect. He honestly doesn't believe that. He might say that at the time because he's like, good god, that woman's hot. But I can assure you one day he'll find another girl who he says the exact same thing about. So there is no perfect figure. And honestly, let's be honest. Yes, I'm totally going there. With shoujo the way it is, made for girls by girls, or more or less that general aspect, shouldn't you be appealing more towards how women should look versus how women think that they should look as little princesses, like with no figure, no, just skin and bones, and made worse by the transformation sequences. And I've already gotten done like 4 minutes or more of critiquing, so I'll get to my last critique and be done with it. Luna. Luna, the cat from Sailor Moon, had a very solid look about her in the original. In this one, her eyes are like this. They overpower her head way, way too much. And it's frustrating. That's what it is. It's frustrating. It doesn't look right. It lacks the finesse that the original series threw in there to do what they wanted to do with the series. That's it for now as far as my list goes. I'll tell you two more without giving you synopsises that you should probably check out. One of them is called Seirei Tsukai no Blade Dance, and the Sword Art Season 2. I'm just throwing that out there. It's out. Start watching it if you haven't already started. And the last one I'm watching is called Tokyo Ghoul. I'll give you a brief synopsis on this one. Tokyo Ghoul is about this race of individuals that are called ghouls, and they can't eat regular human food. They are basically mutated versions of humans that can take human form, or they basically have human form but with particularly unique gifted powers that are born of their body. And they can only feed on human flesh. It doesn't have to be fresh, so they can be dead, not dead, and that actually draws a huge line as far as to what the actual plot's going to be. You know, regular people versus the ghouls trying to integrate into society without people knowing. It starts off really quick, like literally the first 1 to 2 minutes of the series. You're just going to be like, wow, that is totally in your face, and be like, this could be good. I'm still watching it right now. I haven't watched episode 3 yet. I'm making this before I do at some point. But anyways, guys, that is my list. Check out some of the animes. If you see some others on the summer 2014 list that you find interesting, maybe that I overlooked, leave it in the comments below. Also remember the link, anychart.net, will give you everything from the spring all the way to winter season and even afterwards. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for my nose itches and I've been playing with it the whole video. But anyways, guys, if you like anything I do with the channel, like and subscribe. I'll probably get back to doing like lots of fun things with the channel at some point. Watch my previous video. I've talked about what I plan to do with this channel at some point, whenever I get better equipment, software, etc. And thanks for watching. Also, it will happen at some point, but I will have an button about right here, because I say the word a lot in videos, especially with improv. Whenever I get all my software, I may even have an counter just there, so we can count how many times I have to stop and think because my mouth is moving way too fast. And for those of you that are like, your soul is ginger, you're right, and I probably already have your soul. Anyways, guys, this is Ginger Style.